The gas doesn't affect you, providing you've fitted it properly. But it's easy for your gas mask to get nudged or bumped or whatever. Well, it happened to me in the old embassy. I don't know how it moved, but we used a couple of flashbangs that had the gas in them, and I got a good whiff. And basically I puked up inside the old gas mask. You know, it happens. But it's a good way to get, if you've got a cold, it's a good way of clearing your sort of nasal tubes, yeah.
Gas is a very powerful asset to the counter-terrorist team's arsenal. Anesthetics can be used to render everyone inside a building unconscious, but this is a very dangerous proposition, only ever contemplated by authorities when a massacre seems certain. Moscow, 41 Chechen gunmen storm a theatre taking more than 800 people hostage. Armed with guns and a large amount of explosive, they demanded the independence of their native land of Chechnya from Russia and insisted they would blow up the theatre complete with hostages if their demands weren't met. In the early hours of the 27th of October, the Russian Special Forces equivalent of the SAS, the Spetsnaz, pumped a potent, fast-acting gas named fentanyl into the theatre and then stormed it by force. The gas successfully prevented the Chechens from putting up any resistance, and the vast majority of the 800 hostages were saved from being blown up. But 129 of the captives died in the attack. All but 2 of these were due to fentanyl gas. The cavernous space inside the theatre meant that the attackers had to indiscriminately pump in vast amounts of gas through every available opening, air vents, doorways, and windows. The gas would have been strongest at the point of entry, incapacitating some, but delivering a lethal dose to others. Back in our mission, precious seconds are ticking by in Mostovia. But an officially signed document from the government handing control over to the SAS is required before the assault can go ahead. In the interim, the team have found some local buildings with similar layouts to the target. They have now been converted into a makeshift killing house to practice assault maneuvers. The teams have performed these drills hundreds of times before, but when it comes to counter-terrorism, there's no room for complacency.
Stand by. Stand by. Now!
When not practicing, the team will be based in a holding area where they can eat, drink, and relax.
In the days of the embassy, and the snooker championships was on, and everybody was well into that, you know. Just the lads were doing their normal thing. A lot of them, you know, taking the mickey out of their lads, making a fool of with this couple of sort of policemen taking care of us. They were like our waiters and things, you know, make sure we get fed and looked after. And, you know, sort of take the mickey out of them and practical joking, the normal thing, you know. Just lads being lads, you know.
Normally there will be 2 teams who alternate being on standby in a forward holding position next to the target building, ready to launch an immediate assault should the need arise. With the likelihood of a peaceful conclusion slipping away by the minute, in our siege scenario, the final amendments to the deliberate assault plan are put into place.
This is my entry point with my team to go into the building. This is the stronghold. My team is going to assault. This stage here, we have just made entry. When we get to the door, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a mirror out of the door so I can look down both sides of the corridor. We start making our way, coming down towards the stronghold. We know, hopefully, there's a terrorist going to be in this other room. John Mack, he is covering that door to make sure if he comes out of there to take the appropriate action. We enter into the room. As soon as we've cleared the main room, John Mack will go in to the other room and take care of the other X-ray in the adjoining room.
We are trying to do things as quickly as we can.
11th hour negotiations continue in the futile hope of a peaceful settlement.
I really want to...
But the inescapable fact is, the lives of the remaining hostages are at serious risk. Our SAS team must go in without delay. In our scenario, up to this point, local authorities were in control of the situation. Now, that dominion is soon to be handed over to the SAS. But first, let's analyse the breakdown of the assault.
At this stage here, we've reached the first door, the entrance to the building. The lead guy, which in this case is John Mack, he is not going to move until he gets touched on the shoulder by the rest of the team. What he's looking for at that point, he's looking to see if this door's booby-trapped, if there's any wires attached to it. When going up the stairs of any building, don't forget it's maybe night time, you've got your respirators on, you may be wearing night vision goggles. It's very difficult to get any perspective of distance. If you go up, walk up the stairs normally, there's a good chance you're going to start kicking either the stair in front of you or in some cases trip over. So it's easier to put your foot sideways up the stair as you're going up. Keeps everything nice and slow, nice and quiet. At this stage here, we're now proceeding down the corridor. I've moved Pete to the left-hand side of that corridor. I'm at the front on the right-hand side. So we've got both weapons able to put fire down that corridor any time we happen to see a terrorist pop out of a room. We get to the door of the stronghold where the hostages are. Before I make entry into that room, I will report back to control and tell them that I am in position. I may then have to hold that position for a period of time until the rest of the teams are all ready and in position to assault each room in that building simultaneously. Once every team has reported back, the commander, the OC, will then give us the standby, go. Immediately outside the building will be a distraction, a loud fireball. At the same time as that, I am opening the door. The second man will throw a flashbang into that room as I am going through. I am looking, immediately covering all aspects of that room to see where my main area of threat is. The speed that we go through that room and the aggression when we go through the room, ordering all the hostages, get on the floor, get on the floor. This is very important because you've got to have that control over them and they've got to realise that if they don't move, they're quickly going to get knocked down and put on the floor. I will immediately shout, room clear. This is for Pete and John Mack because they've got a second room to clear. They'll go through that door, Pete will throw in a flashbang, John Mack will enter and take out any terrorists in that room. When the room is cleared, I will then move back into the primary room. Don't forget, as we're assaulting this main stronghold, every other room in that building is being assaulted at the same time. There could be another 12 teams operating in that building. Clearing the rooms, making sure that the building is safe. We may have only spotted 4 or 5 terrorists. There may be more. As the hostages are getting exfilled out of the building, they get passed down the line and they will be taken out of the building and held in a secure area until they're checked and then led off for medical treatment if required.
After enduring more than 4 days of the terrors of being held captive, the hostages' fate now lies in the hands of our SAS team. The threat to their lives is now at the highest point since initial capture, as there can never be any guarantee of 100% success when it comes to stronghold assaults. Injuries and fatalities amongst the hostages are now a very real possibility. So finally, control has been handed over to our team. The mission is on.
When authority is passed over to the counter-terrorist team, most of the guys have a feeling of exhilaration. And this is what it all boils down to. That's what you're there for. You have trained maybe for years in some case, maybe 10 years, 15 years, for this chance to prove your worth in a counter-terrorist situation. And when you actually get ready, kitted up to go, there's a slight feeling of apprehension, obviously, but that is overcome mainly by the adrenaline rushing through the body and the exhilaration.